and repair the damage and try to get their home back to normal. And then I think it's a phase of human nature that people get angry. And I think this is the angry week.
Do you have any sense yet of what kind of damage we're talking about? How many millions?
It's up there. I'd be just throwing just a wild guess at this point in time, but I think it was pegged in 2014 somewhere around the 15 to 17 million dollar range of uninsured losses, and they're at that point now.
So, to turn around, this is for the mayor of Sussex, and interviewed by the CBC. And what bothers me here is, again, nobody is questioning about the clear cutting that's done, or that was done in the Sussex area. DOG, come on, relax. So, I called Mike Holland. He didn't know what I was going to talk about. And as a matter of fact, supposed to show me a map today. But anyway, there's corona and everything. Everybody's busy. Never hear from him, but I will. But I did receive an email here from a Frank P. Johnson, Forestry Committee, CCNB. So, I don't know. He sends me a map of satellites, and it's pretty sharp. And CCNB, I hope it's not who I think it is. But anyway, he doesn't know I'm calling. This is just for fun. I'm bored. Let's see if we can get something here. Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Who am I speaking?
You don't recognize the accent?
Oh, this is Charles LeBlanc.
Ah, here we go. See, I wish I could get rid of my obnoxious voice, but I can't.
You don't have an obnoxious voice.
Yeah. No. Listen, Frank, I have you on video here. I'm doing a self-promoting video on the clear cutting in Sussex, and I got your email.
Uh-huh.
And would you, did you listen to I presume you listened to the interview between me and Mike Holland.
Yes.
Would you blame the flood in Sussex on clear cutting?
I would blame it on climate change and global warming, plus the fact that the forests are missing.
So they're missing because of climate change and clear cutting?
The forests are missing because of clear cutting and just forestry practices. Yeah, the forests are missing, and there's more rain, all that rain would have been snow when you and I were a little younger.
Yes.
It would have come down as snow. Right? It would have stayed. It came, snow and rain are precipitation. So it came down. So we didn't get snow. We got a hell of a lot of rain. 40 years ago, the forests would have been there. Even if we had rain, there wouldn't have been as much water coming down as fast as it did.
So it's all the perfect storm.
Yeah. So it's not that the clear cutting caused it. It's the fact that the forests are not there. If you look at that map,
yeah,
you can see all those peaks. I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those patches. They're not all clear cuts, but they're very close to being clear cuts. They're about 75% of the trees in every one of those patches is gone. If it isn't all.
I'm trying to get a trying to get a big picture here. Put it on video. There we go. There we go. Let me put it on video here. Oh. Yeah. So what's all those pink thing? That's clear cutting?
It's not. I can tell you it's clear cutting, but the patches are what are called an algorithm, and the people who make those maps. 75% of the trees that were there are gone, at least. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Now, I can tell you that means a clear cut, but the patch is a place where 75% of the trees are gone.
And that's right beside, thank God, Fundy National Park is right there.
Well, you can see what happens if you don't cut.
Yeah.
Okay?
A dense forest.
And that is, it's not quite a forest. I'm not trying to be difficult, Charles.
No.
It's not quite a forest. What Fundy Park is almost a forest where the trees are almost touching one another so that you can't see the sky.
Okay.
New Brunswick doesn't have, a forest would be a place where if you looked up you could barely see the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And we have somewhere between 0.5% and 2% of New Brunswick is like that. There's not real forest in New Brunswick, except in places like Ayers Lake.
Wow.
And and that's a few hundred hectares.
Wow.
So we haven't seen a forest for so long that when there's enough trees on a hillside where you don't see the ground, we think it's a forest.
Yeah.
Okay. But if we had left the trees in the headwaters of the Kennebecasis, that there wouldn't have been as much water coming down all at once. Global warming means that we didn't get snow. The snow would have came and probably would have stayed, right? What we got is a hell of a lot of rain in a very short period of time, and the water wasn't kept in the headwaters of the Kennebecasis, and it flooded in Sussex. Sussex is downstream.
What do you say? What do you say to the minister, Mike Holland, that he's proud of his record and he's doing this and he's doing that? And of course, I'm not educated like you, but what he was saying, is the government really trying to protect the forest?
Holland is trying to no. As long as we allow the forestry companies to cut, we've taken too much from the forests. What they're doing, Charles, you're smarter than I am, and you've been out. And have you ever driven along Shippity Road?
Shippity Road, where is that again?
Okay, on the way to St. Martin's?
Yes.
On the way to St. Martin's?
Yes, yes, I did.
There's the turnoff at Hammondville?
Yes.
Is Shippity Road?
Yes, many times.
Okay, well, if you take Shippity Road all the way to 114.
Yep.
Okay, and then you'll find yourself just above the road to 114 to Alma in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And what you will see is that there's virtually nothing there. There are almost no trees.
Wow.
All along Shippity Road. And if you take any of the side roads, they're all logging roads, you'll be driving through clear cuts, and clear cuts.
Yeah, just like when you go from Fredericton to Miramichi.
Yes.
And although it's super highways in the woods,
Yes.
and there used to be old roads that once in a while
Right.
you would see transport coming out with wood.
And what you see on the highway is trucks carrying cars, and you see there are three types of transports mostly. You see transports that are carrying chips and sawdust, and they have vents on the side of the trailer, and you see logging trucks with very thin, stick-like logs. Those are basically for plantations. And then you'll see trucks with very, very large logs. Those are the remaining logs that are next to streams that they weren't able to cut until 2014.
Yeah, but didn't they have the buffer zone?
They don't violate the buffer zones, but that's because they can cut in them.
Yeah, I would love to fly a little plane. The North in Miramichi, was it called Burchill Fraser?
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my God, the woods that's coming out of there. Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah. We've been, those of us who are the Southeast chapter of the Conservation Council, we've been up there, but not a lot. This year, we've been concentrating on the Fundy and the Big Salmon River, because the Big Salmon River most of it is in License 6, JDI's license on the Fundy.
Okay.
And since September of last year, under the Species at Risk Act, there's what's called a ministerial order that says you can't disturb the habitat of the Atlantic salmon that are on the rivers that open into the Bay of Fundy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you've been there, the Big Salmon River, and you seen before they built before they upgraded it to a park, they had a little walkaway bridge, and they still.
This is before. This is not in Fundy Park. This is the Big Salmon.
Okay.
And you know that the Fundy Parkway includes the most of the Big Salmon.
Yeah.
You were there, what, 4 weeks ago, a month ago? Or?
Yeah, I was the first time I was there. You need a life. I guess you follow my videos. Yeah, I was there first time.
Yeah, and the Big Salmon has a protected natural area that's called, two of them. One's the Saddleback, and the other's called the Big Salmon. And if you look at a Google map, you'll still see that there's this green area. You know, it looks like a Y, a green area. Mm-hmm. Well, the top of that green area has just been harvested, 1,000 hectares.
Wow.
And all of that happened, and that's exactly where 20 years, a little more than 20 years ago, the Department of Fisheries established that the Inner Bay of Fundy Atlantic salmon had its breeding residence areas. You know, they're called REDs, and that is what's protected by this ministerial order and by the Species at Risk Act. And specifically, since September of last year. And in September of last year, JDI indicated that it was going to be harvesting exactly there.
Wow.
And now no one mentions this ministerial order, and Atlantic salmon have been protected since 2003. And in that time, 2 to 3 times the amount of wood taken out of the big salmon and the Fundy region has gone up to 3 times what it was in the year 2000. And no one has noticed.
How come the media is not asking questions?
Well, the minister, the Shane Fowler and what's his name, Info AM, Terry, have raised have pointed out that when you take the forests away, you get flooding.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, and that's 2 years ago now.
Oh.
Yeah.
They must have woke up the wrong side of the bed. They should bring it up again and again and again, but that's not what's happening here.
Yeah, well, if they do that, they're accused of campaigning and so on. So, they stick their head up briefly and then they duck.
And then people that supports them, then they're known as tree huggers, and we need 4 or 5 jobs that it creates. And
yeah. Well, the thing is that they are taking the last of the forest, and it will take 80 years for anything to come back. So if we continue what we're doing, there will be no industry, there will be no jobs.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So the job thing is pretty much, it's a very silly argument.
Yeah, because they'll just fill up their pockets and then leave, and then
they'll leave. Yes.
That's it.
They are buying companies in South Carolina.
Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, because the trees come back much faster.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you. And it's going to get worse. I think the only thing that's holding the Irvings really is J.K. Irving. He's still alive. Wait till J.D. Irving takes over. Oh, boy. But that's another story. That's another angle.
But to go back to your initial question, it's the fact that the world has changed. The weather is warmer. It's at least 5 degrees warmer here than when you were a slightly younger man, and I was, so was I.
Yeah.
And the trees are missing. So all that water, it doesn't stay, upriver.
Yeah.
And that's why it's flooding in Sussex Corner and in Sussex.
And it's going to flood again, and again, and again, and again.
Yes. And we continue to take the trees.
Yeah.
At a minimum, we should be planting trees.
Yep.
And we shouldn't be planting trees downriver. We should be planting them upriver.
And they spray and spray and spray.
Well, and one of the things, you know this, what the spraying is for is to prevent the hardwoods, the trees that would be coming back,
Yeah.
from growing,
Yeah.
so that they can plant Christmas trees,
Yeah.
which are not going to survive. The trees that they plant will not grow. They don't grow well now, and they won't grow well, by 2050, because it's hardwoods and pine that grow that will grow in a warmer climate.
Yeah.
But JDI believes, they believe that they can transform a mixed forest into a boreal forest, and it's foolish. So that's why JDI is the forestry company that basically uses glyphosate, that sprays. The other two only do it a bit. Yeah.
And NB Power.
Well, NB Power does it because it's convenient, and the area that they spray is very, very small.
Okay, I wonder how many people are still watching this. 20 minutes. Maybe one. If we could educate one person, it's worth it.
Well, you have the last time I looked, you had 113.
113 it was. Well, okay, so we got 100.
If I were you, and I'm not, so you do whatever you wish.
Yeah.
I would not go away on this because it's going to, we're going to have a very strange winter.
Yeah.
And we can expect to have flooding in places where it didn't flood before. That's been going on up here in the Salmon River and in the Tobique River.
Yeah.
And you're likely to see it, in the Miramichi.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's going to be interesting. What's your website, Frank?
Well, I don't have a website per se, but I have the YouTube.
You got a YouTube?
And the movie that shows what's happening, what I call Duffy Brook and the Big Salmon, where it's mostly not clear cuts, but you can see where they took this 100 hectares, exactly where the salmon is supposed to be protected.
How did we get to your YouTube?
Okay, so Mr. F.P. John.
Mr.
Mr. F.P. John. All one word.
Okay, Mr.
F.P. John.
F.P.
As in Mr. Frank Pugsley Johnston.
No result found. Okay.
Don't tell anyone that that's my middle name.
No. Mr.
F.P. John.
Mr.
John.
Okay. Nope, we'll go.
Okay. I will
send me a link. When this video, I'm gonna
send you the link.
Okay.
I'll send you the link to 2 of the Duffy Brooks, and if you're curious, they're all very boring.
Yeah, I'm gonna post this video in about half an hour. It'll be posted on in half an hour, and you could put a link right in there.
Now, I'm sorry, I can't send this to you until tomorrow morning.
No problem. No, there's no hurry.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, and by the way, Charles, keep going, please.
I was going to tell you the same thing.
Because you're very valuable.
Retry.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, tomorrow at about 10 o'clock.
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
No problem at all. Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Keep up the good work. Wow. Well, I think we got educated. I wish I would have had Mike Holland right beside me, and then he could have debated the issue. Maybe we'll do that one day. Who knows? I know Mike loves to talk, so. But that's what he said, and there's going to be a lot of more flooding and the clear cutting. It never stops. And the media is not covering this at all. The question is, why not? How come the media is not asking questions? We have a flood in Sussex because of clear cutting. Right, DOG? How come the humans? How come humans are stupid? Yeah. Okay, I'll go walkie. Okay, stay tuned.